Hello everyone, welcome to the course Geotechnical Engineering 2. So in this module number 3 and lecture number 11, we will be discussing on the Rankin's earth pressure theory for cohesive soils. So in the previous lecture, we have observed the Rankin's theory for active pressure case as well as the passive pressure case when the surface is horizontal as well as when the surface is inclined. So in today's lecture, we will try to understand this Rankin's pressure for cohesive soils. So till now whatever Rankin has stated, it is entirely for the cohesionless soils. But in today's lecture we will try to obtain the active earth pressure as well as the passive earth pressure for cohesionless soils. Okay, since there is this additional term C in case of cohesive soils because there is some cohesion. Let us now go into the lecture more in detail. So now let us try to understand this Rankin's theory, Rankin's earth pressure theory in cohesive soils. Okay, so till now Rankin has considered only for cohesionless soils, cohesionless soils. So this has been extended by Rezal and Bell. Okay, this theory has been extended by Rezal and Bell for cohesive soils. Okay, so the treatment is similar to that of cohesionless soils, but the only thing that is changing here is the additional entity, that is cohesion term. Okay, that is C or C dash. So this is the additional entity that is actually coming into picture. However, this particular theory is confined only to the surface being horizontal only. Okay, so now let us try to understand this more in detail for active earth pressure case. Okay, now the first one, that is active case. Okay, so for this let us consider the similar derivation as we have considered in the inclined surface case. So let us draw the Morse circle now. Let us consider the vertical axis as the shear stress and the horizontal axis as sigma. Okay, the additional term here is that since it is a cohesive soil, the failure envelope will be somewhere in this manner. So this is the failure envelope. This is the failure envelope. So this distance is nothing but cohesion. So let us consider this as C dash. Okay, let us consider this as C dash. So if this angle will be phi dash with the horizontal, so let me just extend this particular line. Okay, and along with this let us extend this particular line here. Okay, so these two will intersect at a particular point. So this angle is phi dash. So this angle is phi dash, and let O be the origin here. Now let us draw one more circle in such a way that it is intersecting this particular failure envelope. Okay, let this be PA, the passive pressure, and let this be sigma V dash. Let this be sigma V dash, and let C be the center. Let this point C, which is actually perpendicular to this failure envelope, be the center, and let this point be F. Okay, and then let this be E, and this point be capital D, and this point be B. Okay, and we know that this angle will be 90 degree plus phi dash, and if I join these two lines, that is DE, so this angle will be 45 degree plus phi by 2. 45 degree plus 5 by 2. So now since PA and sigma V, if you consider the stress block element in this particular diagram, this will be the minor principal stress and this will be the major principal stress. So from this, if you look at this particular diagram, this distance will be equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. If you look at this distance EC, this will be the radius of the circle. So this will be sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2, where sigma 1 is sigma V dash and sigma 3 is PA. And similarly, if I have to draw this distance from O to this C, in general we know that this is sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. So we know this, okay, from our Mohr circle concept. Okay, now let us try to obtain the relation between PA and sigma V using these expressions and this diagram. Okay, now so consider the triangle. From triangle, what is the triangle? FDC, because this is normal, so obviously this is a right angle triangle. So from triangle FDC, so what is sin phi dash? Sin phi dash will be equal to opposite side by hypotenuse, so that will be DC by FC. DC by FC. However, we can write that FC is the summation of FO plus OC. Okay, so it can be further written as DC by FO plus OC. Okay, so from the diagram, if you look at the diagram, what is DC? DC is the radius of this Mohr circle. DC is equal to EC, that is equal to CB. So from the diagram, DC is nothing but sigma 1 minus sigma 3, okay, by 2. So the denominator will be FO. What is FO? If you look at this particular diagram, if you consider this is a right angle triangle. So FO can be obtained in this manner. So if you consider this particular triangle here, so what is tan phi dash? So tan phi dash is equal to opposite side, that is C dash by FO. Therefore FO will be C dash by tan phi dash, so that is C dash cot phi dash. Okay, so this is nothing but this region FO. Okay, so in that way, let us substitute this FO as C dash into cot phi dash, C dash into cot phi dash FO plus OC. So what is OC? OC is sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. From the diagram, we have obtained OC as sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. So this is what we have got for sin phi dash. So let us try to simplify this more in detail. So here from the diagram, we know sigma 1 is sigma V dash and sigma 3 is PA. So let us try to first obtain this in this manner, that is sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 is equal to this C dash into cot phi dash will come this side. Okay, so C dash into cot phi dash into sin phi dash. Cot is nothing but cos by sin, so sin will get cancelled, so this can be written as C dash into cos phi dash plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 into this term is multiplied with sin phi dash again, so it is sin phi dash. Okay, so this is how we have obtained one expression, okay, from the diagram. However, from the diagram we know that sigma 1 is sigma V dash and sigma 3 is PA. So substituting these in this equation, we can rewrite this as sigma 1 is sigma V dash minus PA by 2 will be equal to C dash cos phi dash plus sigma V dash plus PA by 2 into sin phi dash So this is what we have obtained. Let us try to find out PA in terms of sigma V dash as well as the other entities. Now let us consider the term sigma V dash by 2. Okay, so I can write down sigma V dash by 2 is, here it is 1 minus sin phi dash is equal to C dash cos phi dash. Okay, and again this term is there, so if this goes the other side, this will be 1 plus, so it is PA by 2 into 1 plus sin phi dash. Okay, so upon further simplification, if we consider PA, so just multiply by 2 to the entire equation and divide by 1 plus sin phi dash. So we can obtain that this is sigma V dash into 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash. Okay, and the other term is minus 2c cos phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash. Okay, so this is the actual expression what we have obtained for PA, that is the passive earth pressure, that is sigma V dash into 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash minus 2c dash cos phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash. Here if you look at this 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash, it is nothing but Ka. So PA can be written as sigma V bar into Ka minus 2c dash into this term can be written as root over Ka, because here Ka is nothing but 1 minus sin phi dash by 1 plus sin phi dash, which can also be written as tan square 45 degree plus phi dash by 2. Okay, so that is why upon further simplification this term can be root over tan square 45 degree plus phi by 2. Clear? So that is why my final equation can be simplified in this manner, where PA is equals to sigma V dash into Ka minus 2c dash root over Ka. Okay, where Ka is the coefficient of active earth pressure. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So let us now try to understand the variation of pressure with respect to depth. Let us consider this particular equation and let us try to understand this for the variation of this passive earth pressure with respect to depth. Okay, so for this let me just rewrite the equation what we have obtained. Passive earth pressure is obtained as Ka into sigma V dash. So what is the vertical stress? Sigma V dash, okay, minus 2c dash into root over Ka. Okay, but what is sigma V dash here? Sigma V dash is nothing but Ka into gamma into Z. Okay, minus 2c dash root over Ka. So finally PA will be Ka gamma Z minus 2c dash root over Ka. Okay, so let us try to understand this by considering a retaining wall. So let us say this is a retaining wall in this manner. Okay, this is a retaining wall, and let the depth be h. Okay, let this be the ground level. this be the ground level. For this particular case, I need to draw a pressure diagram. So before that, let me just draw the pressure diagram here itself. So let us consider up to this particular depth. Let us consider up to this particular depth. Okay, the height of the retaining wall is h. Let gamma be the unit weight. Let us say gamma is the unit weight of the soil present here. Okay, for time being. So at depth z is equal to 0. Okay, at depth z equal to 0 in this particular expression. If z is equal to 0, so what is happening? Then k into gamma z, so this term will be 0. So obviously PA will be minus 2c dash into root over Ka. Okay, that means here it is negative. The active earth pressure here, it is negative. So what is it indicating? That the negative pressure indicates that there is a pull on the wall. This indicates that there is a pull on the wall. So that is why, since it is negative, there is a pull on the wall, and hence this is a tensile stress, and this tensile stress along the depth it will increase. Since we are considering the compressive stress, since it is negative, that is why it is a tensile stress at the top. Okay, so along the depth what is happening? The tensile stress is now decreasing, and at some point of time this will be 0, and some point of time this will be 0. So for this, let us consider this pressure diagram. Okay, so at the depth of ground level z is 0, so I have got that this as minus 2c dash root over Ka, minus 2c dash root over Ka. So at some point of time it will be 0, and up to this level, let us say I got this particular diagram. Okay, so let this point be ZC. That means this is the critical depth up to which there is negative pressure. There is negative pressure. But below this diagram we have seen in the earlier sections also. But here there is a negative tensile stress. So that is why this is represented as critical depth. Okay. So this critical depth can be obtained. So if you look at this particular diagram here at this point, since there is a change, that means at this point the pressure is 0. So if I equate the pressure, passive earth pressure to 0, then what is happening? Ka gamma z, till here it is Zc. So let us represent Zc minus 2c dash root over Ka is now equal to 0. So from this, upon substituting, we can find out Zc as 2c dash into root over Ka by gamma. So this root over Ka by Ka. So simply I can write gamma into root Ka. So this critical depth at which the passive earth pressure is 0 can be obtained at a depth of 2c dash by gamma into root over Ka. Clear? So this is the critical depth. This Zc is the critical depth. Okay, so this is for the case of passive earth pressure. So if I have to evaluate at a depth of h the pressure, so substitute h here. So this is Ka into gamma into h, okay, minus 2c dash root over Ka, 2c dash root over Ka. Clear? So this is the pressure diagram. So now if I have to find out the force, okay, the lateral force, so how do I find out the lateral force? The authors has stated that this force, okay, the lateral force has to be considered only for the active case. That too, the tensile zone is neglected. That means we have to consider the lateral force only for this case. Let us say the lateral force is somewhere here, and hence for lateral force it is nothing but half into base into height. So half into the base is Ka gamma h minus 2c dash root over Ka into the height. So here this height will be capital H minus Zc, capital H minus Zc. Okay, so this is the term that we have to consider here. This is the term that we have to consider here. So that is the lateral force, and the lateral force here, it is acting at a height of h minus Zc by 3, h minus Zc by 3. So this is what we need to understand here. Here one thing you need to understand is that apart from the pressure distribution, whatever we have understood till now, we need to understand the unsupported cut at which the total earth pressure is 0. Okay, that means up to this critical depth, okay, let's see, at this location the pressure is 0, and when the height of this retaining wall is equal to 2 times the critical depth, that means when h is equal to 2Zc, then the total pressure will be equal to 0. Then the total pressure will be equal to 0. So that you need to keep in mind. And such height is known as the critical height. Okay, such height is known as the critical height of the retaining wall. So here we know that Zc is equals to 2 into, just now we have obtained Zc as 2c dash by gamma into root over Ka. So upon simplification, the critical height of retaining wall can be obtained as 4c dash by gamma into root over Ka, and if phi dash is equal to 0, okay, phi dash is equal to 0, then obviously Ka is equal to 1. So in such case the critical height will be 4c dash by gamma, 4c dash by gamma. So this is what you need to keep in mind. The critical height of the retaining wall must be designed in this manner, okay, considering the soil is cohesive soil. Okay, so now let us try to understand the same case for passive earth pressure as well. Okay, the derivation is quite similar. Okay, the passive case, the passive case. So in this also let us consider the tau axis as well as the sigma axis. Okay, let the failure plane be somewhere in this manner, the failure envelope be somewhere in this manner. Okay, and let us extend this in a similar way like what we have carried out in the previous active case derivation. Okay, so let us say these two are intersecting at a point, these two are intersecting at a particular point, and let this angle be phi dash and this height be c dash. Okay, let O be the origin. Now consider the Mohr circle somewhere in this manner. Okay, the Mohr circle somewhere in this manner. Let O be the origin and C be the center. Okay, O be the origin and C be the center. Let us denote this point as F and this point as B and this point as D and this point as E. Okay, and let the pressure here be sigma V dash, since this is the passive case, and let this pressure be PP, small pp, and this angle is 90 degree plus phi dash, and if you join this BD, this angle is 45 degree plus phi dash by 2. Similarly, this BC distance will be equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. Okay, and this OC distance will be sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2, and this distance FO will be equal to, since this is a right angle triangle again, okay, so that is why I can write down this as C dash into cot phi dash, C dash into cot phi dash. So this is the representation. The only terms that is changing is B and E. It is interchanging here since this is a passive case. In a similar case, let us try to consider from triangle FDC. FDC. This is a right angle triangle. So let us consider this FDC. So from this triangle, sine phi dash is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. So this is DC by FC, and this can also be written as DC by, what is FC? FO plus OC. FO plus OC. Okay. So we know what is FO, C cot phi dash, and we know what is OC, sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2, and we know DC. DC is the radius of the circle, which is equal to BC, so that is sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. So substituting this, we can write down this as sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 by C dash cot phi dash plus sigma 1 minus plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. So we have got these terms in a similar manner. So here, interchanging the terms again here, so we can obtain this as finally sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 is equal to C dash into cot phi dash into sin phi dash, that is cos phi dash, plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 into sin phi dash, okay. So if you look at this diagram, the only entity is changing here. This equation is similar to what we have obtained in active case, but the only entity is changing here is sigma 1 is equal to PP, okay, and sigma 3 is equal to sigma V dash, which is nothing but gamma into depth Z, okay, gamma into depth Z. Substituting these in a similar manner, but we will obtain the expression in a different way, since sigma 1 and sigma 3 are different in this case, okay. So substituting these, we can obtain, so from this sigma 1 will be 1 minus sin phi dash, 1 minus sin phi dash by 2, okay, that is equal to C dash cos phi dash, okay, C dash cos phi dash, and the other term will be plus sigma 3 by 2 into, this is going to the other side, so this will be 1 plus sin phi dash, 1 plus sin phi dash. So from this equation, substituting PP and gamma Z, so we can obtain in this manner as sigma 1 is equal to 2 C dash cos phi dash by 1 minus sin phi dash, which is plus, and this will be plus again, sigma 3 into 1 plus sin phi dash by 1 minus sin phi dash, okay. So this is what we have obtained. So we know that 1 plus sin phi dash by 1 minus sin phi dash is nothing but Kp. We know that Kp is 1 plus sin phi dash by 1 minus sin phi dash, which can also be written as tan square 45 degree minus 5 by 2, okay. So that is why upon further simplification, this equation can be written as sigma 1 is pp here, so it is pp is equal to sigma 3 is gamma into z, and this is kp. Okay, so this is kp into sigma 3 is gamma z plus this is 2c dash into, since this expression is nothing but root over kp, so upon writing this we can obtain root over kp. So finally we have obtained the expression for the passive earth pressure, that is kp gamma z plus 2c dash root over kp. Okay, so in a similar manner let us try to obtain the passive earth pressure diagram as well. Consider this as the retaining wall, okay, of height h, and let this be the ground level. Okay, and if we have to draw the passive earth pressure diagram, so we have the equation as kp into gamma into z plus 2c dash root over kp is nothing but passive pressure. Okay, so at depth z is equal to 0, so in this case pp will be equal to 2c dash root over kp, and at a depth of z is equals to h. Okay, then pp will be equal to 2c dash root over kp plus the other term is kp gamma h. Okay, so that means if I consider the stress diagram or the pressure diagram, so if this line is 0, then at the depth of z equal to 0, then the value is kp root over into 2c dash, and somewhere below at a depth of h, this is kp gamma h plus 2c dash root over kp. Okay, so this is the pressure diagram that what we have obtained in this case. So if I have to find out the lateral force, so the lateral force will be somewhere at this location. In this case, unlike the previous case, since there is no negative pressure, since the entire pressure is positive, so you have to consider the triangle as well as this particular rectangle. So that means pressure will be capital PP will be equal to half into base of this particular thing is kp gamma h into height is h. Okay, plus this particular rectangular strip. Okay, let me just shade the region. This is the rectangle plus triangle, so this will be 2c dash root over kp into h, and this will act at a height corresponding to the centroid of this triangle as well as this rectangle. Okay, so this is finally obtained as half kp gamma h square plus 2c dash h root kp. Okay, so this is the lateral force which is acting. So that's it for today. So in the upcoming lecture, we will discuss on the last topic that is there, that is Coulomb's theory. Okay, we will discuss Coulomb's wedge theory. Actually, we will be discussing this Coulomb's theory in the upcoming lecture. So I hope you have understood very well this particular lecture. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.